This is going to be my thoughts on The Bear, Season 3, Episode 10, Forever. Now, this episode is rated TV MA, so will this video be. And like all other videos I've done on this show so far, there will be spoilers for the episode and all the ones leading up to it, all of which I love. Let's dive right in. I'm not sure I have an awful lot to say about this one. I thought it was really fascinating to hear the various chefs who apparently are largely real chefs. The ones that aren't characters on the show are actual chefs. I don't know if they're like improvising, if what they're saying was written for them, or if that's how they actually feel. It'd be pretty cool if it was the latter. Would make sense, because it's not really, it doesn't feed into the drama of the show as such, so it's not necessary for the writers to make sure they're saying specific things or something. But yeah, IMDb trivia doesn't say, it just says that they are actual chefs. And yeah, I thought it was fascinating to hear about, why they do it. There's that one guy who talks about, oh, I got a haircut in the middle, and you're still defending it, that was quite good. Yeah, I do definitely want to talk about the confrontation. Carmy talking to David. I gotta say, years ago I would never have thought that I would be saying Joel McHale was intense. I may have already said that in an earlier video I've done on the show. Fuck me, he really is just, yeah, like, not in a million years would I have thought that, let's see, what was it called? The Soup or Talk Soup or something like that. The host of that, making snarky comments and such, would ever be intense. But yeah, here we are. And yeah, at first, like, he's sitting at the other table and he's like talking or listening to other people, so he's looking at them. And then at one point, he notices, Carmy looking at him. And the look on his face, it's not this kind of intense, harsh, that we're used to seeing when he's talking to Carmy. It's, there's kind of a smile there. It's like, oh yeah, hey, hi, and then, after a few seconds, starts to get awkward for them to just be looking at each other, so he looks at someone else. But it's not, he doesn't look like he genuinely thinks that Carmy hates his guts. They're after their conversation, Dave's like, I'm gonna go take a piss. I half expected him to say, so if you want to spend that half hour yelling at me, let's do it there. But I was genuinely kind of worried that Carmy was gonna go out there and slug him or something. Like go full Mission Impossible, I would say 5, or was it 6? Pretty sure it was 5. Or old school and True Lies it. But yeah, I did think it was interesting that genuinely, like, he doesn't even think that he did anything wrong. Carmy keeps thinking, he spent all this time thinking, what am I going to say to him? How do I get across how awful he is? And he doesn't even, he's like, fuck me. For anything in particular? Why am I an asshole? Just like, why are you so obsessed with me? What, it genuinely doesn't seem to understand, and I do hate this idea of like, oh, but I was an asshole to you so you'd be better, that's why I said, and this is a direct quote from me, this is not me, the YouTuber, saying, actually, fuck, I think, just in case, I'm not going to say the exact words, but, he says, that it's bad that Carmy is alive. That's just such a fucked up thing to say. You should never say that to another person. And he thinks that helped him, Yeah, I thought that it was interesting how they, and I do appreciate that the show doesn't give him the catharsis that Carmy was hoping for from this, And let's see, then we have what's the other thing with that? Right, the show underlining, it's kind of implied up to this point, but you know, yeah, it's quite clear here. Yeah, like the reason Carmi is so intense at the bear is because of the way David was with him. You know, maybe I did already say that, make that point in a video on an earlier episode. But yeah, here we straight up have the line. Oh, actually, was that said by one of the chefs? Okay, that was definitely written. But the thing about, you know, you got to make it a positive environment. You know, you can't have, you know, because what you bring to the environment is what the environment becomes. Something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah, Sid still hasn't decided. So she's like the opposite of a Ryan George character, and that was also fun, the awkwardness of, like, because he's trying to be super understanding, and the thing with, oh, a smudge joke, haven't heard that a million times before. But yeah, well, I guess we should get back out of here, because it's kind of awkward them just standing there, because it is like, you know, they gotta find privacy somewhere. Yeah, I love Terry being Andrea. I love Andrea being so relatable. It's Chef Terry is in my house, and all I have is looking in my refrigerator, and all I have are pizzas and, you know, waffles. Andrea Terry loves that shit, you know, and she makes it, and that's also, like, it's got to be a really new experience for all these, like, professional chefs. This is actual food. It's like nourishing. Afterwards you feel full. It's not avant bullshit. So just, you know, make sure you're sitting down. Don't pass out when you eat it, and it's actually food. Now I think that might more or less cover. Yeah, and genuinely devastating there at the end. You know, Sid straight up has a panic attack, like trying to make this decision between staying at the bear and going on to this new place. And Carmi gets the review, and we still don't know if it's positive or negative, and just, yeah. So I meant to say at the start of this video, another solid season finale, significantly less melodramatic than the last one. But yeah, we're again, you know, it's this thing of, actually, I guess this is the most open-ended. It's genuinely unclear what's going to happen next time, where seasons 1 and 2 ended with some sort of victory for the bears. Let's go with that. Yeah, I'm really I can hardly wait to see what's going to happen in season 4, which, if I understand correctly, it's a few months away now. Yeah, the season is bookended by funerals. Although I think a strong case could be made that the death of a person is sadder than a restaurant closing.